Hey guys, what's up? It's Rudy. I wanted to talk about something very specific today, and it's a question that Christoph had for me, and I answered this question in a comment, but I want to touch on this for my subscribers. And he asked me, what was my definition of a strong man, quote unquote. And I've explained before that it has nothing to do with physical strength. I'm talking about spirituality. What makes a man a spiritual leader? And it's very simple. He wanted me to give him 5 bullet points, and I was like, I only need one, and basically you're just gonna get one for me because I don't need to make a bullet point list of what makes a man, because this supersedes everything what I'm about to say. And I've spoke about it on my channel before, so if any of y'all who've been following me a while, this isn't going to surprise you or shock you. But the only way you can become a strong man, quote unquote, or a spiritual man, a spiritual leader, is if you're not subject to your mother. If you're not subject to your mother's spirit. Once you spiritually overcome the female nature, the mother nature that you're traumatized with, that's instilled into you at a very young age. The first time you experience trauma from your mother, and it could be the father too, like, don't get me wrong, this spiritual trauma is what dictates your entire life. And I'm not pointing anyone out specifically, I'm just making a generalization. When I say you, I don't mean you specifically, I don't mean Christoph. Alright? And I don't know him that well. Like, I've learned very little about him personally, being a subscriber of his for a very long time. And that's fine. He don't have to give any details about his life. I'm not interested in that. Like, it's his business. And I don't know if he's one of these so-called spiritual men that I'm referring to, these spiritual leaders, if he's a spiritual leader of his family. And to speak for myself, I'm a work in progress, because I'm still overcoming that female nature, that over-emotional nature. And y'all hear it in my videos sometimes, like the last upload I had. I got a little charged up, I got a little fired up, and I'm not trying, but I'm working on overcoming that, because I shouldn't let things get to me so much. And the only things that really bother me, to be honest, nowadays is these problems that I see, like, and they may not be problems to you. When I say you, I'm not pointing at anyone specifically, I'm talking to my audience in general. But I'm going to give an example where today a lady came in with her, but they were walking, so they were about 2 years old, they could walk, but you can tell they're still in diapers. And she comes in and kind of blurts out to us at the front counter, it's like, y'all know where the melatonin is? It's a black lady, alright? Just for clarity's sake, that don't really matter, but it is kind of funny the way they just blurt things out. You just have to be around it to understand that kind of personality. Y'all know the type if you're from America and you've been around urban people, quote unquote. Anyway, she blurts out, y'all know where the kids' melatonin is? And we tell her what aisle it is. It's on aisle 13. Whoa, cops are like, speeding, dude. Something's going on. Anyway, I'm leaving that in. That's interesting. Wow, so many cop cars. Anyway, she blurts out, can y'all tell me where the kids' melatonin is? Like, yeah, it's over there in aisle 13. And Karina and I look at each other, kind of roll our eyes. We already know what's going on. She wants this kid to shut up and go to sleep. Like, come on, man. Like, I've been around it for so long. Like, these mothers, and I don't know her personally, just to preface this, obviously. And maybe y'all can accuse me of being too judgmental. But it's like, she doesn't want to be around some little kid. She doesn't want to play with it, She doesn't want to play with her child to kind of wear him out and put him to sleep. This is around 12:30 in the morning, midnight. So it's like she's ready to go to bed. She instead of taking a little bit of time to wear this kid out, play with him, get him tired, she's gonna take the easy way out. She's gonna take the time to go to the store and get some children's melatonin to knock his ass out. And that's my problem with what's going on in the world, because that's just one example of the shit I witness between mothers and their children. And y'all can think that I pick on women too much all you want, and it's like I don't really care about that. Like I'm calling what I see. I'm calling it like it is. This is the shit I see every day. Where it's like no patience, not even like barely want to be a parent. And it's so gross to me. Like it really truly is. And I can tell you right now that, man, that's a fire department. Anyway, I keep getting derailed because these cops. But man, I got thrown off track. So these families, like, I don't know if this little kid, if this child has a father in his life. I really don't. And there's a high probability that he doesn't. And the reason I say that is that Karina, when I was checking him out, I was being really, really nice to him. Not because I was like feeling bad for him, but it's like I just want to be nice to him because I know something's going on in the background when it comes to children. And Karina said that she noticed that she kind of whispers like, "Hey, he keeps looking at you," because I wasn't paying attention. I mean, I was, but I wasn't. He gave me the little dog that he was going to buy, his little plushy puppy dog. I, took it from him and said, "Oh, thank you." Like, being nice, showing him a little kindness because I doubt he gets very much kindness in his life. So I took it to him, gave it back to him. I went, "Oh, here you go." That'll just being sweet to him. And as I was kind of talking to the lady and checking her out, Karina kind of was like, "He keeps looking at you. Check him out." I was like, "Oh, is he?" I just kind of nodded and I saw him kind of turning around, looking at the canyon. He's like, "Hey, what kind of dog is that? What kind of animal is that?" Kind of making small talk with him just to. And he, I swear to God, y'all, he whipped around like just so happy that somebody's talking to him and having some kind of male attention. And I'm telling you, man, like I know what that feels like, and that's what breaks my heart about it. And that's what I'm telling you right now. That's what gets me charged up. When I start thinking about that kind of stuff, I start like getting riled up. And maybe it's that Latino, that Spaniard temper that kind of that creeps up a little bit. But that's really the only thing that gets me going. Is this is witnessing this trauma before my eyes, and witnessing this level of innocence, and just not to like doom and gloom, but just knowing that this little boy, like 10 years from now, is probably just statistics alone, raised by a single mom, which is more likely the case, is just going to have a very hard life. And man, it's just like the writing's on the wall because, oh my God, these people, what is going on? Like the writing's on the wall for this child because she's in the store at 12:30 and then she took the time to come up to the store to get melatonin so he can go to sleep and she can have a little time to herself. That's all it's fucking about. It's all about selfishness, dude. And this is the shit I'm talking about. This is the crap I'm talking about. I see it every day. I'm so sorry if you don't. But this is the perspective that I'm coming from. And this has everything to do with male leadership and masculinity and what it takes to be a man. I'm not saying, oh, I'm this manly dude for feeling sorry for this boy. It's nothing like that. And I felt like I've gone off on a tangent a little bit because this just happened, a few hours ago and it's on my mind. And I'm just giving an example of what it looks like when there's no male leadership. And it's very, very telling. It's very obvious when there's no male leadership in people's lives, especially women's lives and children's lives. And when the man is in the child's life and the woman's life, like when they're so ass whooped and pussy whooped that they can't stand up to their spouse or their girlfriend at all, and they just trample all over the man, they trample all over the children to get their way, just completely out of selfishness. And that's a story of a lot of people. And it's okay if you don't believe me. You don't have to believe me. Like, that's fine. I'm gonna sleep at night just fine knowing that you don't see shit like that every day. But working where I work every day, I see it every day. And it's horrible. So that's why I keep saying, like, I only need one bullet point. And you either take my word for it or you don't. If you either see it in yourself or you don't. Anyway, guys, I think that's all I have to say. If I have something to add, I'll add it, as I always do. But that's what I mean by a strong man. Is the spiritual leadership, the spiritual man, the man who's walking with God Like Noah walked with God. He was the only man who walked with God. All the way up until Jesus. You know? That's sad. That's real sad. You know, there's this man that comes in. I've been talking to him for a while because he always seems like kind of ragged, anxious, kind of like a chihuahua, like a shaky dog. One of them type of dogs that are always anxious. It's going to seem weird that I'm even talking about this, but his name is Donnie. His name is Don. He's not going to be watching, so I'll just say his name. And he's a gay guy. And he's always fun to talk to, not because, like, not in this weird condescending way, but he's just interesting with the way his life is played out. Because I've talked about this before, where it's like everybody's repeating the same story, and his story is no different from my story. In the way that his parents, like, protected him, like, babied him, and that's where his trauma stems from. So he had a really hard time coping with adulthood. He's a drag queen, by the way. I just recently found he's a drag queen, and I think he likes talking to me, and he'll come in every now and then and bullshit with me. He'll just come in. I don't think he's attracted to me or anything weird like that, but he likes speaking to me because I don't judge him. And I've gotten that from a lot of people so far. My coworker Karina, one of them, she likes talking to me because I don't judge. I'll just say things very objectively and matter of factly. And he liked that about me too. And he's called me something along the lines of his spiritual rock or something like that. Because I don't think there isn't a single person in his life, and I don't think there's ever been a single person in his life that has really talked to him the way I've talked to him. Like, for instance, we've had a lot of conversations, but one that we had a few months ago is when his mother died, and I knew from talking to him before, I knew that his mother was going to pass away, and I asked him, knowing fully well that she's probably gone by now, and he was like, "Oh yeah, she passed away," and all of that, and he was talking about it, and the first thing that came out of my mouth was, "How did that make you feel? Like, how did you feel about that when it happened?" And he was like, he paused for a minute, and he went, "I felt relieved," and I was like, "Yeah, I know, huh?" Basically insinuating that, almost without saying it, I said, I'm the only person that understands that you're going to talk to. And it's true, because a lot of people are afraid to admit that out loud, that it's just a relief when somebody dies. And it's funny because he came in today and he was talking about his mom again. I don't remember what sparked this conversation, but we talked for a while. We talked for a good 30 minutes before he finally left. And he said something about his mom, and I kind of joked when I was like, "Oh yeah, the wicked witch is dead, huh?" And he just burst out laughing. He thought that was the funniest thing. And I mean that, by the way. Like, I'm joking, but I'm not joking at the same time. Like, his mother did a number on him. Like, if you just saw him, he's only 47. He's 7 years older than me. And I swear to God, I thought he was in his 50s, because he looks that worn down and ragged. It's just that bad. And he's had cancer before, so that has a lot to do with it too. But he just looks way older than I thought he was. I honest to God thought he was in his 50s. And I don't know, the weirdness of it, these people that talk to me, even in the comment section of my channel, it's like, in real life, people come to me and just talk to me because they have this weird trust that I'm not judging them. And it's like, I'm really not judging them. Like, I understand where all this shit is coming from, because I've talked about this before. I have, like, up until like 5 years ago, I used to be an atheist. So it's like, I understand where all this doubt and worry and anxiety and bullshit comes from. And I have an easier time talking to people about, I don't know, just talking to people about spiritual things, about God, coming from this atheist perspective, because I understand the words that preachers use to turn off a person to God. And it's not even that I'm actively avoiding the phrasing that they do, like Bible thumping and the way they evangelize and quote scripture and blah, blah, blah. Like, I know it's not even in me to say those things to begin with, which is a good thing. But I don't know, I guess I just have a knack for wording things a certain way when it comes to people. And I don't know, maybe one day it might get me in trouble, but it is what it is now. And it's like a weird humbleness that comes with it. I don't know why I'm even saying this. It's not necessarily to brag. I'm just confused. Like, what am I? It just comes out of me. Like, what am I saying exactly that gets people to kind of trust me? Like with, for instance, Karina. Karina ran away. She ran away from me when I brought up how she needs to talk to her father and ask him what happened with the situation. The situation of her being raised by her mother and her father screwing off to Texas. Not screwing off, but fucking off to Texas. He said, "See you, adios. Like, I'm going to Texas to try to make something for my family, and I'm going to bring them over one by one." And that's what he did. He did it. Like, he did it. He kept his promise in a way, in a big way. But Karina spent her whole life thinking that her dad was a piece of shit, that he was just a sperm donor. And that's her phrasing, not mine. And that was the phrasing that tipped me off, because I was like, sperm donor? Who says that? That's the first time I've ever heard that phrase. And then it hit me immediately when she was talking to me. It's like, oh, she's repeating things that other people have said about her father. This isn't coming from her. And I just knew it. Like, I just know. And where does that crazy knowledge come from? Like, I don't know. It's like as soon as I reunited with my dad, as soon as I forgave my mother, this weird knowledge went into me. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of scary at the same time. It's like, I'm going to put my foot in my mouth one day. It's so funny. Anyway, I think I'm going to just end the video because I'm kind of just rambling. It's just, life is interesting, guys. Like, y'all just need to stick with it. Like, I'm not saying just listen to me or listen to Jesse or whatever. Like, just keep examining yourselves, because the answers that you're seeking, as long as you're seeking, the answers that you're looking for are within yourself already. And if you let God reveal it to you, it will be revealed. I'm not saying that as like some Christian fucking asshole. Like, I'm not saying that just to be some Christian asshole. I'm saying that because that's what I experienced, and that's what I've witnessed in others, what they experienced. And it's just crazy, guys. Like, I don't know what to make of it anymore. I still don't. I'm dumbfounded every time it happens. I'm dumbfounded by this idea, by this fact, this absolute fact, that there is a reality fractal, that we're all repeating the same stupid fucking story constantly, and nobody sees it but like a few. And why? Why can't it be more obvious? Because it would be too easy, I guess? I don't know, but the game's over, right? Everybody woke up tomorrow, the world would just fucking end. Like, yeah, like, if everybody woke up for being an NPC, the world would be done. We'd be done. The game's over. It's not fun anymore. Essentially. Anyway, I'm done, guys. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.